So I live in the southern state of Georgia, the Peachy State. It's been a fun journey so far. I think I'm at the 35-day, losing track of time really fast. I have a W-2. I work for a medical company repairing CTs and MRs, and I've been doing that for about 18 years. My wife has been wanting us to buy a rental property, and I'm the one that's kind of been holding us back, thinking that there are other options instead of going the conventional route. I'm currently like the sponge, right? Just absorbing and trying to provide the value I can back. I'm bilingual and very tech savvy, so I'm here to collaborate, right? And if they're considering opening a business in the healthcare industry, I definitely have contacts that we could collaborate and potentially make something happen. So that's been my journey so far. Still crawling, like I say. I'm waiting to try to get up by making my first deal. One of the agents, I thought it was gonna, the deal was gonna happen because they said they were interested in seller finance. So I was very pumped, and then they came back saying no, the owner doesn't want to do that route. But I definitely fell forward and learned from that. You only know what you know, but if you take action, you learn a lot. And then sharing that experience with other community members just expands more your knowledge. They share so much other stuff you could have done differently, or even added more options to your solution, right? Because
Right.
in real estate financing, that's what we do. We solve problems. We have a Swiss Army knife with so many different possibilities to solve their problem.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you mentioned that there are so many things to learn and you're sort of getting confused, or it's sort of pulling you in different directions. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced so far in the past 30 days?
I think one of the biggest challenge, right? It's because there are so many different avenues where you could, potentially build relationships with different people, whether it could be a PML Gator, or being that transactional person that you acquire a property and assign it. What that does become a challenge because you have to take a decision. Especially as a newbie, you have to make a choice to see what you can focus for, right, and get good at it. And then at that point, then you can pivot into other areas within the real estate investing. And that has been one of my major challenges, trying to figure out where I want to focus, whether it's direct to agent or whether it's foreclosure. Which those are the two ones that I've kind of been struggling with. Finally decided I'm going to go with helping homeowners that are under foreclosure. That's the route we're going to go. So that's one less hurdle, but that has been one of my major challenges.
Yeah, and I think that, a lot of people share a similar hurdle in trying to figure out what to stick to. I think sometimes we feel like we have to stick to one thing forever, but you can always try different things down the line. The faster that we choose something and the faster we go with it, the faster we'll probably get a deal. And what made you decide to choose foreclosure?
Good question. So, like I said, I do work in the medical space and I repair medical equipment. So for 18 years, I've always been one of those that is passionate about what I do, which is repairing medical equipment, because potentially we could save somebody's life, especially working in the emergency rooms where those CAT scanners are located. There are definitely situations where there's a car wreck or there's a major accident, right? And that patient needs to get scanned ASAP. And if that scanner is down, that could cause risk. So to me, that's one part that I really enjoy, which is helping. And I think that's where being able to help a homeowner with during that stressful situation they're going to, I could resonate with that, right? And I think that's why I finally decided we're going to go with foreclosure, and we're going to test it. We're going to try and help as many people as we can. And to your point, if for whatever reason things don't pan out, or I enjoy it, it doesn't hold me back from pivoting and doing other things, right?
Are you gonna try calling them, or just go out there and knock on their doors, or what are some of your strategies in terms of that?
I'm leaning more towards probably just door knocking. My only door knocking experience was back in high school when I was selling knives. Yeah, I haven't done door knocking in a while, but I think it's going to be fun. So
Yeah. Well, any sales experience I think comes in handy. Do you have any other sales experience besides from high school?
one of the mentors I followed a lot, he's like, in reality, we're all salespeople. You find something good, and how do you tell your friends that you found a great book, or how do you tell your friends
Right.
you just saw a great movie? If you don't really tell them why you enjoy the book, they're gonna say, well, okay, whatever. You think I learned that from Zig Ziglar? I mean, I could sell anybody right now on Pace Community, right? Because
Right. Yeah.
you know so many things,
Uh-huh.
and so much value that the community brings.
Yeah.
Um,
And you like it, you're passionate about it. So that
yeah,
sells itself, right? Okay. How do you manage your schedule with being full time and then having to learn all of this and then now trying to add door knocking? How have you managed within the past month and how do you plan to continue managing?
you know, I think it's very about being intentional with our time, right? We all have 24 hours a day. My work is from 7:30 to 4. So that gives me from 4 o'clock to hopefully 8 o'clock, right? To be able to accomplish some of that's what I've been doing in order to be able to learn as much knowledge as I have,
Mhm.
and being able to network with other community members and learn from them.
Mhm.
So that's the great flexibility that at 4 p.m. I'm pretty much off the clock, right? And I am there for my team though if they need me, but for the majority of time, you know, these past 30 plus days, I've been dedicating it to learning. Now
Mhm.
I just got to take it, be intentional with being able to dedicate some time to door knocking. So I'm thinking about probably Fridays or Monday evenings, or yeah, Monday, Wednesdays, or Fridays. I'll be doing some door
Mhm.
knockings in the evenings. Our soccer season just started, and I coach two teams. So I've
Oh,
committed to them
okay.
before, you know, before my journey started,
Yeah.
to coach two teams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I'm excited. I'm passionate about helping kids,
Mhm.
you know, grow in the sport of soccer. So
That's
that's
awesome.
how I'm gonna try. You know, I'm focusing and being intentional with
Mhm.
that time. Where my wife is very supportive of me, and you know, we're working together. And
Yeah, great advice. And where do you see yourself going, or what are your plans? You plan to stay in your W 2 job and do this on the side, or do you plan to sort of transition into just doing real estate full time? Or are you looking to grow your portfolio? Or tell us what your plans are.
beginning, we've been looking at getting a rental. And along those lines, we've always been like, hey, let's just get a rental, right? Let's get a few rentals so we can cash flow, and down the line, right, we'll have that cash flow rental portfolio. But looking at all the possibilities, honestly, that there are within the real estate investing industry, there isn't a reason why we cannot just pivot right into this space
Mhm.
and be able to accomplish great things with our work ethic, with our dedication. Uh,
Mhm.
but the toughest question that is when to make that leap, right? Is it when you start seeing support your family? Wish I had like a specific goal, but with having a family of five boys, it kind of makes it a little bit challenging to
Oh,
make
yeah,
that leap. Yeah.
five boys. Mhm.
So making that leap, you know, be to full time, you know, I think is gonna be that challenge, but I see it definitely doable.
Mhm.
It's just another hurdle to overcome. Having those rental portfolios, I think that's my short term goal. Long term goal is marathon, right? It's not a 100-meter dash. So
Yeah.
I gotta be patient with the process. A lot of people can definitely just become impatient and say, well, this doesn't work. Well, you haven't put the work in, right? You haven't
Mhm.
dedicated the time.
Yeah.
You haven't really put yourself out there to learn from others.
If people want to reach out to you and get in contact with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, for those that are, you know, interested in following my story and my journey through the real estate investing, and along with my five boys and my wife, yeah, y'all could definitely follow me on Instagram at goat Edgar Vargas. And the reason I put goat in there is because I definitely want to be the greatest of all time of me. I want to be the best person I can. We have a saying in our sub two community: 1% better every day.
I definitely want to follow your journey and hopefully I see you get some deals in from door knocking.